This is the 18th Talking Acting for 2022, and this time I'm exploring creating a naive character. Now, this task is as appropriate for a 55-year-old male as it is for a teenage female. Age isn't a restriction, isn't a factor in human behaviour. So, how do we go about this task of creating a naive character? Well, acting is about both understanding human behaviour and its influences, and also understanding story and how we tell it, and having a technique that enables us to bring both those elements together. So, when we're thinking about creating a naive character, the element that's first and foremost most important is that you must have a technique that can do that, because without a technique, you can't do the job. And the element that is the most practical way that I know to achieve this is a standard part of the rehearsal room acting process. Every time you create a role, you should be putting this element in place because it affects your character in all sorts of ways. It drives listening and it drives choices. So if you're going to create a naive character, then step one is surely being clear about what it is that you're actually doing. And the best way to be clear about a character task is to go to the dictionary and look up a definition. And if you do that, you will see a naive character or action shows lack of experience, wisdom, or judgement. So what are the elements that are going to inform behaviour that reveals those outcomes? Well, the simplest way of dealing with this is sorting out your character's hopes and expectations. Because a naive character generally has really high hopes and high expectations. And so that's one of the reasons that naive characters are often disappointed, because their expectations are constantly not met. Now, it doesn't mean that they're always not met, but it means quite regularly they're not met because they're higher than is a sensible way of balancing the practical outcomes of what you're trying to do. So, high hopes and high expectations create naive characters. But if you just say to yourself, okay, well, I'm hoping for this a lot and I'm expecting this a lot, it will have little or no effect, because the key to making this process active is to give them numbers. So if you say, my hopes are an 8, and my expectations are a 9 or a 10, then try it and see, because suddenly your body, energy, and your mind understands the level of your commitment to those. Whereas if you're just using words, the effect is somewhere between very little and 0. Numbers are the tools that prime your mind to understand what your choice is and how it affects you. It's as simple as that. But you need to keep in mind that you're going to set those hopes and expectations at the start of the scene. But you can't control where they go to as you journey through the scene, because they are going to be constantly affected by your listening. But it's important that you set them at the start. It's as simple as that. But if you think about it a bit more, what would happen if you had high hopes and low expectations? Well, instantly you will have created a character who's energetic, who's got hopes and enthusiasm for what they're trying to achieve, but a realistic understanding of what's involved to get there. So they're going to be hardworking, but hopeful. And if you go the other way and create a character who's got low hopes but high expectations, then you've probably created a controlling character who's not emotionally connected to what they're trying to achieve, but is clear about the amount of effort that's required to get there. So they're going to be focused on the doing of the task. And if you move into the moderate territory, so that you have a character that has moderate hopes and moderate expectations, say, using a 5, 6s or 7s, then you're going to create a grounded character that's got a balanced view of life. And so suddenly you've now got 4 character types that you can create and move between in seconds. Now, if the efficiency and the practicality of these concepts appeal to you, then you will be interested in the video tutorials that are available through the rehearsal room called Creating a Character in 10 Seconds, because it explores in much greater depth a variety of ways that you can create a character with that sort of efficiency. Because, as you've seen, if we understand character and behaviour, and we have the tools to implement that, then you can do anything. If you have a question about this unique approach to acting process, you can email me, richard@rehearsalroom.com. Make a booking for a free 30-minute chat, or download the ebook. It's free too.